Well, in the last session I explained how to use intents to navigate between different pages, and when we try to do that we got an exception. You can check it out here. If I enter the name and if I click on submit button, it is showing an exception. Unfortunately, registration has stopped. Okay, and also I have shown the exception. The exception is activity not found exception. It means it is not able to find the activity your page 2. You can check it out here. You are navigating from home page to page 2, but your Android system not able to find the page 2. Okay, so in this session we will see the solution for this, and also I'll explain the basic file structure of your Android application. Okay, so let us start with the file structure. Your Android application, it contains different folders like source, gen, and different types of folders like asset, bin, libraries, etc. So we will go one by one. I'll start with the source folder. Okay, the source folder contains the Java code or the Java files under your package name. You can create different packages here and you can add the Java files to them. So basically the source folder is meant for source code. Okay, and you have one more folder called as gen folder. It is used to store the auto generated files. It contains the generated Java files. This is for the system use, so please don't modify any files here. Okay, and if you want to know more about this, suppose if I open the r.java file, you can see here it contains different static final variables. Okay, so for example you can see here it is having button submit and it is assigning one value for that. It means in your application, whenever you are adding any component, suppose if I am using this XML file, okay, here is your submit button in your XML file, and check the ID for that submit button. Check it here, it is button submit. So in the generated file r.java, for that button submit, means for that ID of your button, it is storing some number. This is nothing but the location where the button has been stored. If not, you can call it as a reference for your button. Okay, so whenever user clicks on this button, the Java will understand, if not Android system will understand which button the user has clicked based on using this particular location. Okay, it is simple like if you have created one variable, okay, that variable if you want to store some value, then you have to assign some location for that variable. That location is nothing but this one. In the same way here in Android, whenever you are creating a button, it should be allocated with some location, and for if you want to communicate with that particular component, then you need the reference. Okay, so this is how the Android will remember the location. Moving next, this is your Android version. Okay, this android.jar file contains the files or the libraries which are related to your latest version or the version you are using. Okay, and it is the dependencies. Suppose if you are using the previous versions like 2.2, 2.4, all those files will be present inside this dependencies. Now the next folder is assets folder. Okay, in the assets folder you can store the files like PDF files, XML files, and video files, audio files, etc. If you want to use those files in your application, you can store it in the assets folders and you can use it in your application. Okay, so then you have the bin folder here. bin folder. Bin is nothing but binary folder. It contains the binary files. Okay, for example, you have the registration.apk. so this is the compressed form of your application. Okay, it's a binary file which your Android phone will understand. Okay, so we will discuss about .apk in the later sessions. So now moving next, libraries. Okay, so this library folder contains predefined third-party libraries. For example, now if you want to integrate a Facebook application in your application, it means you want to collect some login data from Facebook. So at that time, if you want to communicate to the Facebook application, then you have to add the supportive library in the libs folder. Okay, so moving next, you have the resource folder. It's very important. Already we have discussed what is resource folder. Here it is. Okay, it contains different types of resources for your application. Okay, here you have the folders like drawable HDPI, drawable LDPI. All these drawable folders are used to store the images. If you want to use any images in your application, those images has to be stored inside these folders. Here you have some different resolutions like HDPI, LDPI, MDPI, XHDPI, etc. Because in Android market you can find the smartphones with different resolution. Like if you have Samsung Galaxy Y, which is of medium density, and whereas the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, it is of very high density, extra high density. Okay, so now if you're designing an application where you want to display the images with low resolution, then it cannot fit with the high resolution phone. So for that purpose, you have to use the images of all different types of resolution, so that you can use this application in any phone. Okay, so this is about the drawable folder where you can store the images. Now layout. So I think you guys are a little bit familiar with the layout folder. It contains XML files. Okay, so where you can design the UI. Then you have one more folder called as menu folder. Okay, as of now we haven't covered anything about menu. So this, whenever I explain about menu, I'll explain why you need this menu folder. Okay, and values. See here you have different files like dimensions, strings and styles. As I told before, Android application consists of different pages. Now suppose if you want to use a same string in different pages, now why you have to create the same string again and again? Instead of that, you can create the string here with this format, and you can use that string anywhere in the application. In the same way, the dimensions also, you can create the dimension here, a standard dimension, and that can be used in all the pages in Android application. And also the styles. I'll explain about the themes and styles in upcoming sessions. Then you will understand what do you mean by style. Okay, but remember, so these files are used if you have any generic content. Suppose if you want to display any name, or if you want to use any dimension in all the activities, if not in the most of the activities or most of the pages, then you can define those dimensions or those strings in these files, and you can use them in a different pages. Okay, so all these values are used with different versions. Now the important file here, you have Android manifest file. Okay, this will solve our problem, that why we are getting the activity not found exception. Okay, so here you have the solution. So if you open this Android manifest file, here there is different options, like where you can see the application, permissions, instrumentation, and finally you have the Android manifest.xml. So open Android manifest.xml. you can see here it is showing a block called as application. In that you can find one more block, activity. So before explaining what is this application, what is this activity, in Android application, if you are adding different pages, now how Android system will understand from which page to which page it has to navigate? If not, how it will understand how many pages your Android application contains? Okay, to monitor all those things, you have a file called as Android manifest file. Okay, in this file, whenever you are adding any page, that has to be mentioned here. For example, look at here, this is the application. You have different parameters here, something like icon, which icon it is using. Okay, and what is the label, means app name, and which type of theme it is using, and what are the different types of activities it contains. So we will discuss about intent filters later. As of now, you can say this, it is using only one activity, that is present inside the com.example.registration package, and the activity name is home. Okay, so like this you have to mention the activity in Android manifest file, so that your Android system will understand how many activities are present in the Android application. Okay, now I will show how to add the activity to this Android manifest file, so that you can remove the exception in your application. Okay, so let us start doing that. Please note down the steps. I will show the error once again. Here is your application, registration. So if you enter the name, and if you click on submit button, it is showing the error, saying that, where you can see the error, here it is, your activity not found. This is the exception. Now to solve this, just open the Android manifest file. Please note down these steps. Whenever you are adding any page to your Android application, immediately you have to open the Android manifest file and you have to add that page to your Android manifest file. Okay, so for that you can do it in two ways. The first way is, open the Android manifest file, select the application. You can find some tabs here. In that, select application, go down. Here you have an option called as add. Click on that. It will ask which component you want to add. So as of now we have created the activity, so select activity, click on OK. Now you have added the activity, but which activity, what is the name of that activity? So for that, here is an option, you can browse the name. So browse for that activity. So here is your activity page 2. So select page 2. In this screen it displays all the available activities. So here is your page 2. Select, click on OK. Okay, after doing that, immediately you have to save it. So here is your page 2. Now go to the Android manifest file. You can see, look at here, the activity page 2 has been added. Okay, you don't need intent filter. It is required only for the main activity, because Android has to understand which activity it has to launch first. For that purpose you are using the intent filter here. You can check it out. Here the category of this activity is, it is a launcher, means this particular activity your home page will launch first. Okay, you need not to bother much about this as of now. We will discuss about this in detail in the upcoming sessions. Now we have added the page 2. You can add in this way. If not, you can directly type, like you can type activity. In that you can just give the name and you can mention it as page 2. So both the ways are okay. Whatever the comfortable thing for you, you can do it. Now I'll keep only one. Save it. Now let us try whether it is working or not. Select the application, run it. Okay, use the existing device. You can check the status if you want. Go to the console. It is installing the registration APK. Okay, installation is success. Yes, here is your application. Now I will try to enter the name, something like Sandy. Okay, so click on submit button. Name is Sandy, and you can see that it is moving to next page, page 2, but we haven't added anything here, so you may get confused. So we will go to page 2 XML file. Here is your page 2 XML file, and let us add some components here. I will add one text view, and just I will edit the text. I will display this is page 2, just for our information. Okay, save it and run the application once again. Okay, so enter the name, and you can give some age here, and if you click on the submit button, this is page 2. Okay, so it's working fine, so you can try it out. If you have any queries, please visit our student forum and you can place the queries there. And in the next session I will explain how to send your registration data to next page. It means you have collected some data here, and how to send that data to next page and how to display that in your second page. Okay, and also we will discuss how to store the data. For example, we have the registration form here. Now I want to store this data somewhere in an Android application. So where I have to store that data, what all the options present in Android to store the data. So all those things I will discuss in the upcoming session. Okay, so thanks for watching. See you in the next session.